Now, many of you already know that last week when we talk about Firefly, apparently people or customers that place their orders on Firefly were having to wait 1 month until they get their hands onto their cars, right? And we discussed to say that NEO should quickly increase the production capacity to cater for the demand that will come from Firefly, because what Firefly or Firefly's performance, I don't think even NEO themselves had it in their mind or never thought that it will get to this place. Because if you remember very well from what the NEO CEO told us, he said Firefly will only probably sell 10% of the overall NEO sales, right? Meaning that if NEO sells 20,000 cars, maybe NEO and Onvo, I assume it was including Onvo, then Firefly will sell 2,000 cars. But what we have been seeing, or what we have seen for the month of May and June, it shows that that was an understatement, because May, Firefly sold over 3,600. June, Firefly sold almost 4,000 cars. And I can tell you now, Firefly in August, not this month, in August, probably the production capacity, probably they will be able to sell over 5,000 cars. I can tell you that right now, which is something that is great. Now, the reason why I'm telling you about what we spoke about last week on Firefly is that we read some good news coming from Firefly head of marketing, apparently, who confirmed that the production capacity for Firefly has been ramped up and more deliveries should definitely come from August, meaning that the month of August, it's guaranteed, it's confirmed that we are going to an all-time high, which, as you know, or as you are aware, current monthly high for Firefly is around 3,900, which we saw in June. If we are going for a new all-time high, we're talking about obviously maybe 5,000, right? That is why I'm saying we can easily see Firefly selling 5,000 in August, which is something that is great. To prove that what the head of marketing is saying is the case, we have been seeing trucks full of Firefly being delivered to stores. You will remember that when last week I did that video, all Fireflies were sold out, even on the stores. Firefly was completely sold out, which left, of course, the customers that were placing orders onto Firefly to having to wait a month until they get their cars. But now that production capacity has been adjusted, I can tell you that it's quite certain for sure we are going to see, of course, Firefly having to deliver as many vehicles as possible. Who knows, we might still see Firefly delivering over or almost 4,000 cars, and even maybe breaking a new all-time high, but we'll see. But from the insurance registrations, I think Firefly right now, it's still below in terms of deliveries. As of end of last week, from the insurance registrations, you and me can agree that Firefly probably only has maybe roughly around 1,500 sales, right? And from those almost 1,500 sales in these last 7 days, the biggest question, I suppose, is that how many vehicles can Firefly produce and sell, deliver in these last 7 days of this month? That will be very interesting. But I think there is something that Neo has planned. It might not be an all-time high, meaning that we might not surpass the 3,900, but I'm quite certain that in August, obviously, we are going to see an all-time high from Firefly. We are already going to see an all-time high from Onvo, and those two brands, these two sub-brands under Neo, are the ones that are going to help Neo get to 40,000 deliveries, which I've been telling you. The path is clear. There is light at the end of the tunnel, and those that are persevering throughout the headwinds will be the ones to be rewarded, right? Like I said, we saw trucks full shipping or taking the Firefly sub brand to various stores, and this is good news, and it shows us that look, things are going to be better for Firefly, and my dear friends, blue sky is going to most definitely come. Share price wise, we are still at the bottom of the belly, but I believe that these are these moves that we are seeing from Neo recently. You and me can agree that they are preparing for profitability one way or the other. I mean, profitability is very important to us as the investors, but Neo, I think some of the people I've got, or some of the retail investors I see, they point out Neo as this bad company. The CEO had to step down and whatnot. But that guy is a genius, man. Look, I think Neo had to choose to quickly get to profitability or advance first, and make sure that they crush competition with their technological breakthroughs. That is the route that they chose, of making sure that they are advanced. They launch the two sub brands. They make sure that obviously they destroy competition, or they try to be up there, and then now they are going to readjust their expenses, which is why Q1 the new CEO came and talk about the CBU, which is their new system that they are using to cut down on spendings, to cut down on R&Ds, which it makes sense right now because Neo has successfully launched two sub brands. Neo is going to make sure that obviously now they push sales as much as possible. So the future looks so bright. Firefly, it's coming. Onvo, it's coming. Neo, it's coming. But truth be told, Neo sales have not been doing that well as last year, right? I think after the launch of the 2025 models, we thought Neo was going to quickly get back to 20,000, especially the four best-selling cars. But Neo has been selling 13,000, 15,000 from their main brand. Shows that they are still slightly lower to the kind of deliveries they were delivering last year. But this is not a train smash, because the Neo main brand model, you know that when you talk about the gross margins, they are the ones that are contributing the most in terms of the gross margins that Neo is seeing, right? And therefore, even if they are not to sell as much as Onvo, but they will be generating or boosting the overall gross margin of the entire group, which, my dear friends, this makes me to be excited, because gross margins are the major key for us to get to profitability. If gross margins don't get to 17, 18%, like what the new CEO told us, then we need to forget about profitability, which is why Neo cannot go right now and fight and try to bring down the prices of the Neo main brand, trying to sell as many cars as they can, but because that will tamper with their gross margins. I mean, we already know the vehicle margins of some of the cars. I mean, you already know the vehicle margins of some of these cars that Neo is selling right now. And this is from the new CEO himself. Vehicle margin for the ES6 is over 20%. Vehicle margin of EC6, it's almost at 30%, if not at 30%. 89, we already know that that one, it is supposed to be the car that gives Neo some massive vehicle margins, which is absolutely great, something that we look forward to. So the future is just so bright. Anyways, I don't want to make this video to be long. All I was trying to tell you here is that, look, man, Firefly, it's about to do also something crazy in August, because the production capacity just got ramped up, which is something that is great. And to the investors, all we can see is the light at the end of the tunnel that is coming for Neo. I'll see you on the next one, my dear friends. That is all from me, and God bless you all.